Hi, this is Heather with eXp Realty here in the Comox Valley and beautiful Campbell River area with a little bit of a market update for the end of March 2025. And basically, what everyone is wondering is if I'm a seller, should I be putting my house on the market for sale right now with all the turmoil that is going on between Canada and the USA? And then, of course, our elections. And then I have the buyers, which are calling and emailing constantly because they're not waiting. They're making plans to move this way or move out of their homes and move down or up that socio ladder. So, to be honest with you, the sellers that call that are saying, is it the time? I think that right now is the time to be living your life as you want to live it and not be waiting or sitting on the fence for our government to help you make those decisions or whatever is happening down in the States. Now, I put a comprehensive presentation together for you because I also want to talk about job security and things of that nature, interest rates, and then, of course, what is happening in our local area as far as real estate goes. Because if we listen to the news, they will blanket the entire real estate market in British Columbia, and it is not the same here on Vancouver Island. So join me. I've put together a presentation for you, and let's get started. So here we are, the end of March 2025. We will be looking at the statistics that have been released by the Vancouver Island Real Estate Board that cover off the month of February, as well as looking back year over year. Once again, if you are dealing with transactions that are involving wills, executors, power of attorneys, it is something that I do concentrate a lot on in this market right now, as well as working with seniors. I'm a senior myself here in the Comox Valley and Campbell River area. So let's get started. Okay, so here's our recent media released from the Vancouver Island Real Estate Board, which I do not agree with a lot of what is being said here. So phones are ringing and realtors are showing homes, but some buyers are holding back, which we attribute to the economic uncertainty unleashed by threatened American tariffs that have now become a reality. However, forecasts indicate that British Columbia won't be affected as much as other parts of Canada. Vancouver Island is also somewhat insulated from any unpredictability around mortgage rates due to its large population of retirees, many of whom don't require mortgages. Well, having said that and read that, I have to say, what about all the young families that are moving here to Vancouver Island? Everyone is affected by mortgage rates in some way. In fact, mortgage rates are now more in our favor to encourage more buyers to be in the marketplace. But there's also people that are relocating, refinancing, and we have a lot of first-time buyers and buyers that are moving up that socio ladder. So there's a small area of Vancouver Island where the population is more retirees. And basically, Qualicum and Parksville tend to be those areas, and Victoria. The rest of Vancouver Island is being affected by a number of reasons why homes might be selling and might not be selling. And there is always real estate selling here on Vancouver Island. And we can see by looking at the statistics that are in the next couple of slides. However, first, I wanted to go over something that I did myself. So I asked ChatGPT to give me a market synopsis, but I also put in some really particular fields. Like I really dwelled into what I wanted to say. However, what I did not say was I didn't talk about Vancouver Island, Comox Valley, Campbell River. And when I started to read all of the information that was coming in, which also gave me the areas that this information was being pulled from, I could tell that it was predominantly coming out of the larger Canadian cities, Toronto and Vancouver. So then I re-asked the question, and I was very specific about the Comox Valley and the Campbell River area. So as we navigate through March 2025, it's essential to understand the current dynamics of the Vancouver Island real estate market, especially in light of recent economic developments. So let's delve into the current interest rates and implications of the U.S. tariffs under President-elect Trump and provide guidance for both buyers and sellers in today's market. So if we talk about the current interest rate, we know that the bank, Tiff Macklin, dropped it another quarter of a point to 2.75%. Having said that, they could come down again another quarter of a point, because if the Canadian economy is going to be stifled by what is happening, then the only thing that they can do is to try to encourage people to spend money or borrow money. So that's what happens with the interest rate. And what we're also seeing right now is fixed mortgage rates are dropping. And now you can get approximately 4.2 or a little bit lower on a 5-year term. So buyers see these lower interest rates present more of an opportunity to secure financing, affordable, more of a house, let's say, as well as investors. However, investors are still not necessarily showing up at the table. Having said that, I am working with younger couples, and I'm saying younger couples under the age of 60, that are moving here to Vancouver Island, but they are not selling their primary home. So there you go. They have still a job to go to when they transfer over here. They have enough equity in their property, but because the rental market is still so strong where they are coming from, they are choosing to rent their homes out. And I'm also seeing that here in the Comox Valley and in the Campbell River area. So in February 2025, President Trump imposed his 25% tariff on imports from Canada, citing national security concerns. Well, this action has actually escalated trade tensions and introduced what's known as economic uncertainties. So what I'm talking about here is people that do not have a secure job. And to be honest with you, none of us do. In the broader picture of things, it is like a domino effect when things start going downhill. So as people start losing the hours at work or their jobs in general, or companies that are doing a lot of development and work in fields where they're sending stuff down to the United States, they might be laying people off, or they might be just, in fact, some companies have talked about moving down to the States. This is what creates uncertainty here in our marketplace. I haven't felt that yet here in our local area of Campbell River or Vancouver Island. I have certainly talked about it in the larger cities with other realtors, Toronto, Vancouver, that is most definitely affecting their market. In fact, sales dropped almost 10% in February over January, but that was not in our area. So be very careful about what you're listening to on the news. And I kind of highlighted some of the areas that stood out for me. Assess your financial readiness and consider the stability of your income sources when you're making a move up the ladder. That means if you're buying a more expensive home, you better be sure that you can afford it and that you have the money to make that move. While in lower interest rates, you can take advantage of them, but you need to make sure that it aligns with everything in your long-term financial goals, as well as be aware that potential market fluctuations are coming with all the uncertainty here in Canada. And sellers, you need to be realistic about pricing your property. If you want to get your house on the market and get on with your life, you can't be dreaming up a price that is unrealistic, because I have properties that are sitting on the market because the pricing is not matching what the buyers feel the value is. And then number one, and I say this every time I do my market update, is I caution against misleading headlines. Also, if you're reading headlines, are you reading the headlines of the major cities? Because we are more, I like the word insulated that Jason used. I didn't agree with why he used the term, but nonetheless, we are more of an insulated market as far as people really want to be here on the island. And my phone does not stop ringing every single day with people inquiring about properties here. So be very careful about the headlines that you are reading. You can read everything that I have put down on the last couple of slides if you want to take your time and really delve into what I pulled up by doing some really specific questioning on the internet. Once again, the real estate zones covered by the Vancouver Island Real Estate Board are as far north as Gold River, Sayward, Campbell River, Comox Valley, Parksville, Port Alberni, Nanaimo, and as far south only as the Cowichan Valley. These numbers do not cover Victoria. So here we are, month over month. Look at this, December, January, February. Now we only dropped slightly from January to February, but that is still a downward trend. So that is what we have seen month over month. This is the third month in a row, seeing the benchmark price. What I want you to pay attention to is when I talk about our specific area. So just the Comox Valley and the Campbell River area. We are looking at active listings now, 975 over last month, which were 888. So February, more listings came on the market. We do know that. Let's have a look at what happens in March in the next couple of weeks. So here we are looking at average sale price. For the Campbell River area, we are up once again, and we're up quite a bit year over year as well. If we look at the number of sales in the month of February, we are up again 23% over the same time last year. And we're relatively the same when it comes to the Comox Valley. But look at month over month. Comox Valley jumped quite a bit from January to February as far as sales go, and the same as Comox Valley. But I also like to correlate the fact that we had more listings coming on. So buyers had more homes to choose from now. We also saw a lot of price reductions, and this would encourage sales definitely. Single family benchmark price. Now, this is a better metric to use when I'm doing home evaluations. This is what I like to use. So Campbell River area, we have fallen just slightly by about, I'd say $7,000. And in the Comox Valley, we also have fallen about $3,000. But year over year, we are still up. So month over month in the last 3 months, we have fallen as well in Comox Valley and the Campbell River area. So in Campbell River, the benchmark price of a single family home was about $682,400 last month. That is up 3% from the previous year, down over the last 3 months, but up over the previous year, as well as the Comox Valley year over year benchmark price rose by just 1% to $824,300. These are our different areas, and if you were to look over month on Cowichan Valley, Parksville, Nanaimo, you would see different statistics than what we have in Campbell River and the Comox Valley. However, Port Alberni is holding strong in its market. Once again, it is one of the more affordable areas to purchase properties on Vancouver Island. In the apartment sector and in the townhouse, we have gone up month over month in both Campbell River and the Comox Valley, and that is really good news because it really was sales have been slower and less sales when it comes to condominiums in both Campbell River and Courtney. The townhouse market also saw, like I was saying, a little bit of a jump in pricing between a month ago and February, and we'll see what happens in March when the numbers come out. But condos and townhouses were more favorable than detached homes. So who's buying and selling? Well, like I was saying, my phone is ringing with a lot of relocations. I also have people that are relocations moving here for medical jobs and other industries as well. I do have estate sales. I have 3 estate sales presently. So unfortunately, that means that someone passed away. Once again, we are living in a community of longtime pioneers here in Campbell River and Comox Valley, and that is just something that we'll be dealing with for a few more years. And the next wave of trickle-down wealth it's actually upon us. So a massive amount of money is beginning to change hands, and those are the people that are able to purchase right now, and they might be moving up the ladder. They might be buying a second home, and I've noticed a lot of sales on Mount Washington. So that could be also second money coming into the area. So let's have a look at month over month with our week snapshot, which I love to do. And look at that. New listings are relatively the same month over month. Sales pending are way up in March. And then, of course, we were going to have more solds in the month of March because of all the activity we had in February. So, yes, there's a lot of properties coming on the market. It makes it a very good time to be out looking if you're a buyer, especially because of the interest rates. So I can see that there is still a lot of activity going on here in Comox Valley and Campbell River. I have just listed a beautiful ocean view property on Driftwood Road. Now, this home is a lovely lot. It's over half an acre. The house itself is over 2,300 square feet, and there's great opportunity to come in and renovate this property and make it just your beautiful dream home. Asking price is 1.295. Driftwood Road in Saratoga Beach is a beautiful street. It's a wonderful area to live in. And if you want any information about this area, this is where I live. So I certainly can fill you in on what's happening around here. I have a newer listing on Surfside. This is a manufactured home. It has a newer roof, a newer furnace, newer septic tank. It's got newer siding. It is on a huge lot, 0.62 of an acre, and it has great opportunity for you to turn that into your own little dream property. It's only a couple of blocks away from the beach, hence the name Surfside Drive. And that is asking price $558,000. I have relisted this property on the Island Highway that has really nice ocean views, and it's a little two-bedroom, 954 square foot condo. It's ready to move in. It is one of the lower price condos under 400,000 that's two bedrooms that you can buy in the Campbell River area on the Old Island Highway. There's only one other property on the market, and we are newer and bigger in square footage. Yake Road in Fanny Bay. This property has the most beautiful view over Denman and Hornby Island. It is absolutely a stunning view. It is a nice little manufactured home, 1,600 square feet, two bedrooms, two bathrooms, and on a lot that's over half an acre. So this is a lovely property, and I would love to show someone through this home. It has a detached garage as well. This is a newer listing on 20th Avenue, and I had about a dozen showings on the second day that I had it listed. We do have an accepted offer on it. It did have a detached garage, and that's what added a lot of value to this property. It's just across from the river on 20th Avenue. We listed it for $477. It is an estate sale, and we do have an accepted offer on it at this time. I have an accepted offer on my commercial property. There was a phase one, phase two study done. We are just about finished all the subjects, and hopefully next time I do a market update, that will have a sold sign on it. Edgit is sold. We listed it and sold it relatively quickly. This house on Martin Park Drive, I'm really excited for my buyers. They have an accepted offer and subjects are removed. It is now sold. Harmony was another property that I listed and sold within 1 week. So you're asking me how the market is. Obviously, there are properties that can list and sell really quickly in the last month. I'm showing you some of them right here, and others are sitting. So Harmony was a great street in a beautiful little area. This house was immaculate, and it was such a pleasure to show. This house on James Crescent, this backed onto the river, the Oyster River. It was a little over 2 acres, and I'm really happy for the buyers of this property, and I'm very happy for my seller as well. Timberline, this property was a quicker sale as well in the Campbell River area. Another beautiful, stunning home, gorgeous ocean views. I'm very, very happy for my sellers here. Sabre, this home took a little bit longer to sell, but it is sold now and it will close next month. So congratulations to my seller. And I just wanted to quickly say a couple of things. First of all, I do have a sign on the Island Highway, the old Island Highway, just here in Black Creek, and it's pretty close to an election sign. I just want to let you know I am not running for election. I've had people texting me, no, I'm not. And just because the other signs are close to me, it doesn't mean I'm voting for one party or the other. I just wanted to draw that to your attention for the people that are texting me. I think you're just joking, but nonetheless. Also, a year ago, I joined the luxury real estate component of eXp Realty and have been offering this to my clients that are thrilled with the success that we've had from it. It is an absolutely amazing program. No other company can even come close to the offerings that eXp Luxury has. And so I feel very honored to be a member. I also wanted to say a great big thank you to my admin man, my husband that helps me relentlessly through my business all the time. Without him, I wouldn't have made an Icon Award. There's only 36 agents in Canada that have this award, and I am proud to say that it was an amazing year for me. It was an amazing year because I have amazing clients, and I've worked with some wonderful people for some happy reasons, some sad reasons, but they trusted me to help them with their real estate, and I'm so honored. Thank you very much. And that put me at number 19 across Canada with eXp as one of their top producers. So I just want to say thank you very much to everyone for helping me accomplish this. And this year has also started out to be a fabulous year. If you have any questions when it comes to your real estate needs, you don't need to want to sell or buy, but if you just like to talk real estate, that's exactly what I love to do. I want you to take care and keep strong and buy Canadian when you can. Thanks.